I have to be honest with you. When I opened the file for this week's source material, I hovered over the delete button for a second.
I can probably guess why. The title isn't exactly a beach read, is it?
Structural model of non-foregrounded self-referential activity. I mean, come on. It sounds like something you'd read to cure insomnia, not understand it. It just feels so dense.
Academic gatekeeping.
It definitely has that vibe. But, well, usually when the title's that dry, the content is kind of explosive.
That's the only reason I kept reading, and I am so glad I did, because once you hack through all the jargon, this paper is basically, it's a mechanics manual for the most annoying part of being human.
Right.
That voice in your head that just refuses to shut up when you're trying to sleep.
The dreaded committee meeting.
The committee meeting, yes, where the agenda is always, why did you say that weird thing back in 2014, and are you doing enough with your life?
And does that punctuation in your boss's email mean you're about to get fired? Exactly. And the advice we usually get for this is, well, it's garbage, right?
Mm.
It's just clear your mind or try to meditate.
Hmm.
Or my personal favorite, stop overthinking, which just makes me want to scream because if I could just stop, I would have done that 3 hours ago.
It's like telling someone who's drowning to just be dry. It completely ignores the mechanics of the problem.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going deep on this paper to understand the actual biology of that voice, the default mode network, and, more importantly, the specific conditions you need to actually quiet it down. And spoiler alert, none of them involve willpower.
That really is the key takeaway. You can't think your way out of overthinking.
Okay, so before we get to the solution, we have to define the beast. The paper uses this term, recursive processing. I feel like we need to clear that up because I always just call it thinking.
And that's fair. It is a form of thinking, but it's a very specific flavor. The paper distinguishes it from, say, task-positive thinking. So if you're solving a crossword puzzle or calculating a tip, you are thinking. But that's outward-facing. Your brain is engaging with the world.
Okay, so that's like useful thinking.
Right. Recursive processing is meta-thinking. It's when the brain turns the camera around 180 degrees, it's thinking about the thinker. It's not, where is the route on the map? It's, why am I so bad at navigation? And is everyone in the car going to think I'm an idiot if I miss this turn?
Wow, okay, that hits a little too close to home. So it's the self in time and social space.
Exactly. And the source material breaks this down into this really nasty little loop. It's a 5-step cycle that happens in milliseconds, usually before you're even consciously aware of it.
I want to walk through this loop because when I read this section, I felt like someone had been spying on my internal monologue. The paper lists. Stimulus, self-reference, evaluation, meaning construction and self-positioning.
Right. So let's track that. Let's use a real example. Let's say the stimulus is, you wave at a friend across the street and they don't wave back.
Oof. Okay, the classic snub.
So step 1, stimulus, no wave back. Step 2 is self-reference. Does this involve me? Your brain instantly flags it. Yes, obviously, I'm the one waving.
Right.
Step 3 is evaluation. Is this good or bad for me?
It feels bad. It feels like rejection.
Right. So now you're in negative territory. Step 4 is meaning construction. And this is where the storytelling engine kicks in. Your brain starts drafting a script to explain the data. They must be mad about what I said, or they think they're too cool for me now.
Or, I've done something wrong and I don't even know what it is.
Precisely. And then finally, step 5, self-positioning. You update your status. I am a person who is being ignored. I am losing social status.
And this all happens in a split second.
Faster than you can blink. And once that loop completes, it usually just restarts. You start looking for more evidence to confirm that position. And when that loop is foregrounded, meaning it's the main thing your brain is doing, you are no longer living in the real world. You are living in a simulation of your social standing.
That distinction is huge. You're not on the street anymore. You're in the simulation. But here's the thing that drives me crazy. We know we're doing it. I know it's irrational. But I can't just flip a switch and turn it off. And the source material explains why. It basically argues that the modern world is booby-trapped.
It calls them structurally self-linked stimuli.
Which is just a very fancy way of saying everything is about you now.
I mean, think about the environment our brains evolved in versus where we live now. In a pre-modern setting, a tree is just a tree. A river is just a river. They don't have an opinion on you. They don't require you to check your status.
But my phone does.
Your phone is a self-reference machine. Notifications, likes, credit scores, your health rings, even your relaxation is being tracked. Did I close my sleep rings? We've built a world where almost every single input triggers step 2, self-reference.
So we are just constantly feeding the loop. We're throwing logs on the fire every time we look at a screen.
Pretty much.
But that leads to the second reason we can't stop, which I found even more profound. The paper calls it the paradox of relaxation. Because when I get stressed, my instinct is to sit down, close my eyes, and say, okay, stop thinking. Just relax.
And the paper argues that is literally the worst thing you can do.
Why? That's what every guru tells me to do.
Because the attempt to reduce the self is, by its very definition, a self-referential act.
Oh, wait, run that by me again.
Think about the internal monologue when you try to force relaxation. You sit down, you close your eyes, and what happens? You start monitoring. Am I relaxed yet?
Why is my mind still racing?
I'm bad at meditating.
I should be calmer by now.
Oh, I see. I'm judging my own performance at relaxing. Exactly. You are using the system that evaluates performance to try to stop evaluating performance. It's a total logical loop. You can't use the DMN to turn off the DMN.
It's like trying to smooth out ripples in a pond by smacking them with a shovel. You're just making more waves.
Yeah, it is a perfect analogy, and the source is categorical here. Effort-based suppression strengthens recursive loops. You cannot will yourself into a quiet state.
So if willpower is a trap and our whole environment is rigged, are we just doomed to be anxious wrecks?
No, but the solution isn't psychological, it's structural. The paper shifts the focus to attenuation.
Which means like fading out, right?
Right. The goal isn't to fight your ego, it's to create an environment where the brain realizes that monitoring the ego is simply unnecessary.
Okay, this is the meat of the deep dive. The paper lists these 7 structural conditions that crowd out the DMN. I want to go through them because this is effectively a checklist for anyone who wants a quiet mind. Maybe we can group them together.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start with the first group, which I'm calling the ego removers. This would be condition 1, absence of evaluation, and condition 7, no identity updating. These seem almost impossible in our culture.
They are hard, but they're vital. Condition 1 is all about removing the score. As soon as there is a grade, a metric, or a better or worse axis, that loop activates.
So if I'm painting and I stop to think, is this painting good? Would people like this? I've already broken the condition.
You've left the moment and you've entered the simulation. To quiet the mind, you need activities where the outcome just can't be graded.
And that connects right to condition 7, no identity updating. This one really struck me. The activity can't modify your self-concept.
This is the trap of so-called productive hobbies. If you are learning French because you want to be the kind of person who speaks French, that's identity work. That triggers the DMN because you are literally building yourself.
So if I'm doing something to add a bullet point to my personality, it's not actually going to relax me.
Exactly. But if you're just noodling on a guitar and you know you're terrible and you don't care about ever being a musician, then it's quiet. The loop has nothing to grab onto because you aren't trying to change who you are.
It's the difference between doing something and being someone who does something.
Precisely.
Okay, let's look at the next one, which I think is the most counterintuitive. Condition 2, no future referencing.
This one hurts the high achievers.
It hurts me. My brain is wired for ROI. I want everything to compound. I'm reading this book to get smarter. I'm running to get fitter.
I'm resting so I can be more productive tomorrow.
Exactly. And that's why I'm exhausted.
It's because recursion, that anxiety loop, thrives on simulating the future. It's a prediction engine. If you want the engine to shut off, you have to feed it an activity that just doesn't lead anywhere.
So we basically need permission to be pointless.
In a temporal sense, yes. It needs to be non-accumulative. If there is no future outcome to optimize, the brain stops running the simulation.
That is so hard to accept. It feels like wasting time.
But look at the alternative. You save time by optimizing, but you spend that time being stressed and miserable. Is that really efficiency?
Touché. Okay, let's move to the environmental conditions. Condition 3, zero external audience.
This goes right back to the DMN being a social tool. If there is even a 1% chance that someone else will see what you're doing, the social self-monitoring system stays online.
This is the singing in the shower versus singing at a karaoke bar distinction.
Or even deeper than that, singing in your living room, but you're recording it on your phone just in case it's good enough to post later.
Oh, guilty.
The moment the potential for an audience exists, you're performing. You aren't being. You need total privacy to deactivate the loop.
Okay, so no score, no future payoff, no audience. Those are all about removing pressure. But condition 4 kind of flips the script. It's immediate processing dominance. That sounds like a physics problem.
It is. It's a bandwidth problem.
Break that down for me.
Recursive processing, that voice in your head, it's abstract, it's kind of slow, it runs in the background. But your brain has a limited pipe for information. If you flood that pipe with real-time, high-intensity sensory data, there is literally no room left for the voice.
This explains the whole adrenaline junkie thing, doesn't it? If I'm surfing a 10-foot wave, I am not worrying about that awkward email I sent.
You can't. If you do, you fall. The brain is forced to prioritize the now. Rapid feedback, body-first processing. When that real-time load is high enough, recursion is physically crowded out.
So we need high intensity but low stakes.
That is the sweet spot. You want the brain to be busy processing data, not processing the self.
Interesting. And that leads right into condition 6, minimal decision branching.
Choice is stress. Every time you have to choose between option A and option B, you have to evaluate which is better. What if I choose wrong? That triggers the loop.
This is why relaxing by trying to pick a movie on Netflix is actually just miserable. You spend 45 minutes making micro decisions.
Exactly. That's high decision branching. Compare that to, say, a jigsaw puzzle. The puzzle has a strict structure. You don't decide what the picture is. You don't decide the shape of the pieces. The rules are set.
So constraints are actually freeing.
Constraints are silence. Low uncertainty quiets the mind.
And finally, condition 5, meaning generation is unnecessary.
Humans are meaning-making machines. We love to narrate everything. What does this sunset mean for my soul? What is the symbolism of this moment?
Is this a sign?
Right. But that interpretation is a cognitive load. It keeps the narrator employed. You need activities where the thing just is what it is.
Like scrubbing a floor.
Exactly. There's no deep meaning to scrubbing a stain. It's just friction and dirt. When you don't need to interpret, the narrator can go on break.
When you stack all 7 of these conditions up, it's like a filter. It suddenly makes sense why certain things really work for people, like video games. I used to judge people who played these incredibly difficult, repetitive games for hours.
Well, let's run it through the filter. Is there high sensory input? Yes. Are there clear rules and minimal decisions on what to do? Yes. Is there an audience? Usually no, if you're playing solo. Does it matter for your career?
No. It hits almost every single condition.
It fits the structural model perfectly. It's a safe room for the brain. Same with knitting. Same with gardening.
But I have to ask, if this loop, this DMN, is so annoying and we have to go to such lengths to shut it up, why do we even have it? Is it some kind of design flaw?
That's the why section of the paper, and the answer is absolutely not. It's not a bug, it's a feature. The paper calls it social survival insurance.
Insurance against what?
Exile. I mean, think about human history. For 99% of our existence, being kicked out of the tribe meant death. You would not survive on your own, so you needed a biological system that was constantly monitoring. Am I safe? Do people like me? Did I break a rule?
So the anxiety is the safety mechanism.
Correct. Recursive processing activates when threat uncertainty is high. It's trying to solve a problem to keep you alive.
And this leads to that Stone Age baseline hypothesis in the text. The idea that in our natural environment, we didn't have to force these 7 conditions. They just were.
Exactly. If you're hunting or gathering, you are naturally in a state of immediate processing. That's condition 4. You are not worried about your 5-year career plan. That's condition 2. You aren't performing for an audience of thousands. That's condition 3.
So the environment naturally kept the DMN in check.
But we've taken that Stone Age brain and dropped it into a modern world that is structurally designed to amplify the loop. We're in a state of permanent narrative maintenance. The threat of social obsolescence feels constant, so the insurance policy just runs 24/7.
So our brains are running a survival program for a danger that feels constant, even if we're not actually physically in danger.
The danger is social death, and in the digital age, that threat is omnipresent.
So what's the end game here? If the DMN is a survival tool, we don't want to get rid of it completely, right? We're not aiming for a lobotomy.
No. The paper is very clear on this. The goal isn't zero recursion, it's on-demand recursion.
On demand. I like that. Like Netflix for my anxiety.
In a way, yes. You want the system to engage when you need it, when you're negotiating a raise or navigating a really complex social conflict. That's when you need the simulator. But you want it to deactivate when you're done.
The paper calls this functional reallocation.
Right. When you aren't foregrounding the loop, you don't become a zombie. The source lists the benefits of this non-foregrounded state. Your intelligence is preserved, your decision-making is functional, your emotional capacity is totally intact.
You just lose the continuous self-monitoring. You lose the me that's watching the me.
It's not dissociation or anything like that, it's just being.
So Boiling this down for the listener, they've got this list of 7 conditions. What is the practical takeaway? Is it just find a hobby?
It's more about auditing your downtime.
Explain that.
If you are feeling burnt out, but your rest involves scrolling social media, which violates conditions 1 and 3, or watching stressful cable news, which violates condition 5, you aren't really resting. You're just revving the engine in neutral.
You need to find a pocket of your life where you can intentionally stack these conditions.
Yes. Find something where you can be terrible at it, where nobody's watching you, where there's no future payoff, and where the rules are really clear.
That's a very hard sell for high achievers.
Yeah,
Go be terrible at something useless.
it is. But you have to view it as a neurological requirement. You aren't wasting time. You are allowing the survival mechanism to finally stand down.
Remove the necessity for foregrounding. That's the line from the text.
Don't fight the noise. Just change the room you're standing in.
I think that's a perfect place to land this. We spend so much time analyzing the content of our thoughts, trying to solve the problems the voice is screaming at us. But the solution might just be realizing the voice is only screaming because of the environment we've put it in.
That voice is just the insurance policy. And if you want it to stop ringing, you have to stop pulling the fire alarm.
Something to think about the next time you're trying to meditate and you end up making a grocery list instead. And hey, if you found this deep dive helpful, maybe don't post about it. Just keep it to yourself.
Practice condition 3.
Exactly. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
See you next time.